put into the hearts of countless people, especially young people, will live on. I'm pleased to announce that I will soon be awarding Charlie Kirk posthumously the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
Here with reaction, Rob McCoy, Charlie's pastor, co-chair of Turning Point USA Faith. Pastor McCoy, I know how difficult this is for you. You were not just his pastor, you were his friend. He faced death threats pretty much every day. He and I talked about this. But as far as I could tell, he just lived his life with purpose. He really embraced the understanding of, be not afraid from Pope John Paul. What can we learn from his own faith and his own journey of faith?
Charlie built Turning Point on the power of the spoken word. He believed in logos. He believed in rational thought and truth, and that, in the beginning was the Word was with God, the Word was God. He had a love for the Lord, and in his pursuit of truth and his defense of truth and building Turning Point simply on the spoken word, those who couldn't compete with him logically tried to kill him. They threatened him with violence, though Charlie never was violent any day of his life. Those who opposed him were. And they did what all evil does. They took his life, and that's what evil does. It takes life. Charlie sought to protect life. He was an unequaled advocate for the unborn. He's one of the most remarkable human beings I've had the privilege of knowing.
Pastor, Charlie's wife, Erica, I know you know her well, introduced him at a Turning Point event earlier this year. Watch.
My husband, Charlie Kirk, is a force. He is bold when the world demands silence. He is fearless where others flinch, and he has taken on the battle of the next generation, changing the hearts and minds of these kids. And he's doing it with the single most greatest gift that God has blessed us with, and that's God's word. That's his truth.
Pastor, I know you officiated at their wedding. Charlie was so happy that day, as was Erica. Tell us about that love that they shared, which was, to me, so special, so inspiring.
Well, one of my favorite stories from Charlie is when he interviewed Erica, in the middle of the interview, he said, I don't think I want to hire you. I think I want to marry you. And I don't know if I got it exactly right, but the minute he met her, he just knew that this is a woman that could endure a life of standing in the public square contending for truth. As strong as Charlie was, Erica is. She is remarkable. She's a pillar. I mean, there's mourning, there's sadness, but there's no despair with Erica. She is a lioness, and her love for Charlie was reflected in the fact that both of them are courageous. You see, in the absence of truth, in the absence of courage, truth is an orphan. And in the previous generations, truth was just thrown away. And now with Charlie and Erica and all the young folks at Turning Point, they've made a stand, and they know what they're facing. Every one of them, when they were told that Charlie had died, they didn't cower. You should see how they're just standing up and doing everything that they've learned to do, and they're doing it. Charlie, they just struck a hornet's nest of the conservative movement and for pursuit of truth. The couple, remarkable, and my heart goes out to Erica, but she is strong.
We have video of Vice President Vance assisting in carrying Charlie's casket as his remains are being transferred to Air Force 2. They were very close friends, and we know that Charlie was a strong supporter of J.D. Vance, an advocate for J.D. Vance to be on the ticket with President Trump in the 2024 election. And they remained very close, talked frequently, texted frequently about everything from sports to faith to politics. They had a fun text chain going with a number of other people, and this hit the vice president, Pastor, very, very hard personally. This moment where he is carrying the remains of his friend, how poignant is this? How hard does this hit? And I think you see Erica there in the background.
Yeah. Immensely painful. You know, with the vice president, I think he said it publicly, but he attributes his victory to Charlie, and even being the vice president. And Charlie, amazingly, Charlie would see in people things that others didn't see. My son, for example, is chief of staff, and I remember when Charlie said, "I want him to come work for me," and then he told me what he wanted him to do, and I just thought, I don't think my boy can do that. And I turned around one day, and Charlie's turned him into a man I never imagined. And I'm embarrassed to say that. I believe highly in my son, but I know my limitations, and he's exceeded his father, and I rejoice for him. But Charlie was instrumental in that, and he's done that with so many people, and that's
so
how
many kids.
The vice president felt. His heart's broken.
Yeah.
All of ours are.
Pastor, thank you very much for sharing these stories tonight, for your faith perspective,
Laura,
and your friendship.
Laura, if I could, I just want to say thank you for letting the world see spiritually what this man was all about. Your work is treasured, and thank you, Laura. Bless you.
No, you're welcome.